Hey there, guys. Where are y'all? Oh, there you are. Hey, guys. Welcome to Cooking for the Boys Live. I need to get my chef coat on. Give me a second. All right, here we go. Got my chef coat on. Today is vegetarian dinner. We're going to do some eggplant. Oh, it's going to be wonderful. I'm trying to get my water hot. I forgot to turn it on earlier. Guys, if you're cooking with me, make sure your oven is on to 350. Let's preheat the oven. Okay, chef coat is on. Time for the hat. Okay, we're doing a vegetarian dinner. Preheat your oven. Get your hot water going. Now, a lot of people, when they're dealing with eggplant, they will boil the eggplant. Okay, I don't want to boil it, I just need to soften it. I don't want to boil it and boil out all the nutrients. I just want to soften it. So I am going to run some hot water through it. We're also going to work with some green beans and some cauliflower. Okay, we got to cook the cauliflower through and make it nice and soft. We're going to mash it up. We're going to sweeten the green beans. But the eggplant's going to go in the oven, so we need to get working on that first. All right, now the camera thing's going to be a little awkward for you guys. So give me a minute. Let me arrange things so we can see us. Oh, by the way, let me see. Where's my camera? Okay, you see all of this stuff on my face? Yeah, all that stuff. It's that Movember movement. Okay, so I'm growing my mustache. I hope you guys are growing yours. And hopefully one of my producers can throw up a link or something to the Movember thing, so you'll know where to go and who to give to. Also on the phone right now, I'm talking to my producers, Dario and Duran. Actually, Duran's directing this episode, and Dario's producing and covering. I believe he's covering Facebook and Twitter. Duran is working on the show itself, and he will cover all questions coming from live stream itself. All right. Now, yes, I'm working on trying to figure out the best place to put this computer because my camera went out on me. So let me move my computer down. This is the beauty of live television, guys, or streaming live videos. Okay, let me see what that did for me. There's a delay, so I don't really know what's going on here. Oh, well, it helps if I actually know which camera I'm dealing with, doesn't it? What a moron. Let me see. Yes, I know. I was told which one it was. That one, the one I wanted from the beginning. It's back. It's back. Here we go. Oh, boom, and then it falls. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's like a bad horror movie. It's like a bad horror movie. All right. Hey, there's my workstation. There are my fingers. I still have some. See? All right, here we go. I hear people laughing. This, my friends. Oops. Let's sharpen our knives. This, my friends, is an eggplant. This is an eggplant. It has a green thing on top. Get rid of it. If you want to get rid of the one on the bottom, that's cool. Get rid of it. Now, we're not looking to cut it very thick, so, but you know, we do want to have some kind of bite to it. So we want to make sure there's a little thickness. It's like, I don't know, half an inch, quarter inch, whatever this turns out to be. We're going to drop it in a bowl. We're going to do every one of them the same way. Now, you also need to make sure you have some kind of oven-safe dish. Remember, I have a glass one, but if you don't have them, you can always use a cake pan or something like that. All right, this is a lot of eggplant for 2 people, so I probably won't use all of it. But what we're going to do is we're going to throw a few pieces I need a bigger bowl. I'm not happy with this bowl. So let's get this bowl right here. Okay, let's throw a couple of pieces of eggplant in here. Okay, nothing major. There you go, just that much. And let's get some hot water. Hot water. Okay, always use something. Always use protection, right, guys? That's right. Let's throw hot water. Let's let our eggplant sit in the hot water. While it's doing that, while it's softening up in just hot water, and that's very hot, you need to push it down, that's what these are for. While it's softening up in hot water, let's talk about what else we're going to do. Well, we're going to bread this eggplant. Okay? We're going to bread it, so over here we have our breading. This is flour and breadcrumbs in here. It's been seasoned with salt and pepper. Now, when we bread something, we don't just dip it in flour. We have to also, oh good, look at that water is boiling too. We have to actually dip it in a liquid. Most people use an egg or an egg substitute. Let me tell you why I'm not doing that. Because eggs and egg substitutes are basically egg whites. So if you're trying to go vegan, the egg white isn't going to help you go vegan. It's just going to keep it vegetarian. So I'm going to use silk. This is silk. Okay, like I said, I don't care what brand you use, but this happens to be silk. Now, silk is a little sweet. This is just the original flavor, but it's still a little sweet. And, all right, so we got this. We got these things sitting in here nice and hot. So let's pull up the silk, put it right there. Move these to a side. You don't have to see them anymore, but you are going to see me work with them. And remember, God, did I turn this down already? Remember, we're working with an oven-safe dish. Oven-safe dish. This is mine. Beautiful. So what do we got to do? Well, we take the eggplant that has been sitting over here in the hot water. Let's dip it in the silk. Let's dip it over here and bread it nice. There you go. We did this the other day with the fried chicken. Well, now we're doing the eggplant. If you want, put it back in the silk and double bread it. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And then we're going to layer it right here. I'm sorry. I am so wrong. We're not going to layer it. Well, you know what? I'm going to put it here, but that's not how it's going to go in. Don't worry about it. I'm going to show you something else in a minute. Let's do a few of these because I need to do a couple of them. So let's get these going. Let's get these going. Some more. Some more. I'm trying to keep one hand dry and one hand wet. Okay, let's put another one. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. Big one right here. Okay, let's bread it. Bread it, bread it, bread it. There we go. Throw it in here again. Bread it some more. Now, this isn't enough to cover my pan, but I want to get you guys going and figure out what we're doing here. Now, remember, my oven's already preheated 350, but I'm just not going to throw it in the oven like this, guys. I'm really not. Okay? You can see my my hands are a little messy. So let's figure out what I'm going to do with it if I'm not throwing it in the oven like that. What in the world am I going to do with it? I have the water on. I got to wash my hands a little bit. I am going to use this pan right here, and I'm going to fry it. Okay, just lightly brown them on each side. How do we do it? We turn this up to high. We put a little bit of cooking oil. This is canola oil. Into this pan over here. We don't have to soak them and bury them in this oil. We're just gonna brown them on each side. Okay. If you want, even though we already threw some seasoning in our flour, you can season these some more. Nothing wrong with that. Have I shown you guys my beautiful pepper mill? Look at that. Look, it's like Star Wars. Dun, 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 dun. Is that the right music? Anyway, everything's bigger in Texas. All right, so we're going to get the oil hot. Now that we're getting the oil hot, let's do this. This, my friends, is a cauliflower. This is the cauliflower. I cut off everything else except the crowns, just like crowns of broccoli, okay? Yes, they're still connected, but that's okay. We're going to dip it over here. We are not blanching this. We're actually going to let it cook until it softens, okay? We're not going to just put it in for 10 seconds and take it back out like we will for the green beans. We're going to let them soften in here. So we put cauliflower, let me take this. We put it in the hot water. We're just going to let it sit in here and let it soften. Here's our eggplant, and that's our oil heating up. Waiting for the oil to heat up. A drop or two of water in there will tell me how hot it really is. Now, let's move the camera closer so you can see this. Let me see. Yes, I know, all this camera work kind of gets you guys dizzy, and I apologize for that, but we couldn't get the second camera working today, and now here we are. Okay, so make sure you have a good pair of tongs. A good pair of tongs, not the pair of thongs, although that's up to you. I don't care what you wear. We're going to take one, drop it in the oil. We'll take all three of them, actually. We have plenty of room for it. But let them brown on each side. While I'm letting those brown, I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more. You can watch those brown. Let me do a couple more because I do have to fill up my glass dish here. And I want to get it all done and into the oven right away. All right. So far, here comes another one. All right, there's 4. So far, we haven't really done much. We've cut up our eggplant. We've breaded it. We've already started softening our cauliflower. I take that back. We've done a lot. And we're browning our eggplant right now. Okay, so after we brown our eggplant, we're going to put it into, that's right, the oven-safe dish that you see. All right, here we go. There you go. All right. Now, eggplant is browning. I'm not sure how it plays on TV, but believe me, the eggplant is browning. Get out of the way. And here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Eggplant browning. Okay. Being my own cameraman, now, nice and brown on one side, flip it over. All right, you see it browning? How about this one? This one's a little bit brown. We can use some more time, but I'm going to flip it anyway. All right, and what's over here? Cauliflower heating up. Eggplant browning. And hot water that we're going to use for the green beans in a little bit. So it's just going to stay on, it's going to stay hot. All right, let's flip a couple more of these puppies. Oh, some more brown on that side. That's beautiful. Oh, look at that one. Can you see that one? That's brown. That's beautiful right there. And one more. All right. Let's get it brown on that side. I'm going to move this again. Let's show you something else real quick. All right, let's set up our camera. I know. The camera is dizzying. I understand. It is dizzying. I understand. But follow along. You're going to enjoy this. Okay. After I brown them, I'm going to place them in my oven-safe dish. Then I'm going to throw this on top of it. Okay, well, what is this? This, my friends, instead of the stewed tomatoes like I called for in my recipe, I went ahead and used whole peel tomatoes. I love whole peel tomatoes. I opened them, I put them in the bowl, and then I just cut them up. With my knife, I just cut them up a little bit like that to, basically cut them open and let all the juice run out of them. And we're going to cover the eggplant with the tomato, and we're going to throw some crushed red pepper, and then we're going to go ahead and grate some parm. Then we're going to grate some Parmesan. It's going to be beautiful. Okay, if you added this, if you did this, and let's say you made a pasta, okay, a whole wheat pasta, whatever it is, gluten-free pasta, whichever ones that you like. Okay, this would be eggplant parmesan because we're throwing the parmesan in. Now, usually they throw the parmesan into the breading. Okay, I did not do that. I'm going to throw it at the end for two reasons. First of all, let me turn this one off. Which one is this one? It's that one. No wonder it's burning. You can see it burning. You can see all the smoke rising. It's burning because I left it on high. I should have lowered it. That's my fault. Anyway, I did it for two reasons. First, the main reason is I just don't have that much parm. I don't have enough to throw it into all the breading and still come back and top it off later. All right, so let's get this out of the way. This is making me nervous. All right. This has been turned off. I'm going to move this over here just to make sure. I'll turn off this one, and I've turned them both off. All right. I'm trying not to burn myself while we're doing this. So this is what it looks like. One more time with the moving camera. All right. You see? Brown, dark, really nice. There you go. Then we're going to use this. Okay? Now, if that's not enough for you, and that's cool, open another can. Who cares? Also, let me put this down. Yes, the flying camera is gone now. Let me put this down. Also, if you don't like the way that is, or if you want to do something else, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid, my friends, to get a fresh tomato. This one happens to be a Roma tomato. And run a few slices, nice and thick. And then just top it with, while you have that in there, top it, each one of them, with some fresh tomato on it. There you go. Beautiful. Let's throw some salt. Remember my salt crock? My salt crock. See? Throw some salt on there. Just like that. Just a little, couple of pinches. Throw it on there. All right. Now, what else did I say we're going to do? Well, let's do some parm. Okay? Let's grate some Parmesan on it. Da-da-da. Like I said, if you want to open another can of stewed or whole peeled tomatoes, that's up to you. Oh, I'm going to show you what this looks like before I put it in, because I know you're only looking from an angle watching me grate the parm. And believe me, what you're seeing looks delicious. What I'm seeing smells delicious. Okay, and a little bit, I like my stuff spicy, so I always throw a little bit of crushed red pepper. Here we go. One more time, the flying camera. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, that's what it looks like. The tomato on top of that, all the parm, it's already been browned. We're throwing it in the oven. We're not going to throw it in for long. It's at 350. Let me put this down. It's set at 350. We're going to throw it in about 15 minutes, not just to melt the cheese, but to get hot all the way through. All right, now that being said, okay, our big dish is in the oven, my friends. That is wonderful. We're excited about that. Big dish in the oven. Let's work on all our little side dishes. We have 2 side dishes today, and we're going to work really quickly on those. The first one is mashed cauliflower. It looks like mashed potatoes, and depending on what kind of equipment you have in your kitchen, you can make it look real close to mashed potatoes. But, so here we are. We have our cauliflower already hot and probably already softened all the way through. I'm only going to get one out and put it in the bowl for you. Let me move the camera down a little bit so you can see. There you go. Now, let's make sure we can cut through it. We can cut through it really nice, really easy. All of them are that way, so let's get all of them and let's fill this bowl with our cauliflower. Dun, dun, dun. Believe it or not, I was going to reuse my skillet. That skillet that I kept on high has started burning stuff, and I don't want to have to reuse it today. Okay, so here we are, a bowl full of cauliflower. Let's cut it up a little bit with your knife. If you have a smaller knife, that's fine. I'm using the bigger one because that's what I'm used to, but a smaller knife would work. we're just going to cut it up into parts. Now, here's the fun part for you guys. Okay, if you have a blender and you'd rather do this in a blender, remember, putting hot stuff like this in the blender is only going to make it dangerous to handle. Okay, it's not like you're making a smoothie here. You're making a smoothie with a lot of steam. So when you take off that top, it's really going to come out hot and it can really burn your face. You have to be real careful. If you don't have a blender or a food processor, maybe you have one of these. And if you don't, go get one. This is a good old-fashioned smasher. All right? This is a good old-fashioned smasher. We go smash, smash, smash. So that's what we're going to do with this. We're going to put a little bit of elbow grease into it, and we're going to smash it up a little bit, like you would, you know, potatoes after you've boiled them. So that's what we're going to do here. Now, we haven't done anything else to them. We've heated them through, and now we're smashing them. And then after we smash them and get them a good consistency, then we'll start adding our flavor to it. Okay? Again, you know, vegans try to avoid all that animal product. If you're a vegetarian and you want to just put some milk in here, that's fine. If you're a vegan and you'd rather, go ahead and use the silk. That's what it's for. Okay? It's soy-based milk. I don't know how you milk a soybean, but somehow they've managed to do it. Now, also, what I use, again, I'll show you what I use. I use Smart Balance, okay, which is a buttery spread. It is not butter. It is very much friendly to the gluten-free and the vegan type of diets, and that's what I use. So, we're going to get ourselves a good scoop of butter. Okay, we'll do 2 of those. 2 good scoops of butter. Now that's a lot of butter. A lot of buttery spread, I should say. The heat's going to help it, you know, break down a little bit. I'm going to keep this butter spread out because I'm going to use it again in a minute, but not for this. And then we need a little bit of silk. Okay, so we're back with the silk. Dun, dun, dun. This is the same thing you would do if you were making mashed potatoes. Only difference is we're using cauliflower. We're using different ingredients that, I mean, you know, you can use silk and butter for mashed potatoes too, or also. But I'm using cauliflower, which is a really cool dish. And yes, you have to be real careful. If you put in too much, just like you do with potatoes, then it's going to get a little bit on the mushy side. And unless you have more cauliflower, and this chef does not, that means I'm going to have to go ahead and switch it over and use my blender probably to help get it through that way. All right, so anyway, we're going to use the food processor to make this even more mashy. But before I bring the food processor out, let's get to our green beans. Okay, let's put that over there. These are fresh green beans. Real simple. Fresh green beans. I cut off one end, which is the end with the stem. I left the other end on, but if you don't like that other end, take it off. Now the green beans we're not going to leave in too long. We're just going to blanch them a good 20 seconds. This water is already boiling. All I did was move it to the front. It stayed boiling, trust me. So I'm going to blanch my green beans in here while I get my little food processor, which I didn't know I was going to use, but I put too much silk in my what am I making, guys? Where's my director? He knows what I'm making. In my cauliflower. And thank you. And okay, so let's go ahead and do this. While that's doing that, we're gonna spoon this over here. Now I'm using a slotted spoon, so I can leave a lot of the liquid behind and get back to the cool base that I was looking for on this, the cool texture I was looking for on these cauliflowers. And yes, you would not serve mashed potatoes like this if you didn't already put, let me move the cauliflower over here. If you didn't already put your salt and pepper in them. So let's move the camera. Too high. This is tough. Okay, so here's some pepper. Pepper mill. It's going to get a little bit loud, guys. This happens to be, it's a pepper, it's a salt or pepper mill. I have sea salt in here. It's a really nice sea salt. Let me tell you what else I have, guys. Check this out. And I'm not using any of these. Here is a beautiful pink salt. In fact, I have 2 pinkish salts that I just bought and a black salt from Hawaii. So, but you see the jars they're in. They're not made to do this. They're made for, well, for the looks after you plate it. If you wanted to cook it like this, and then after you plate it, you wanted to enhance the beauty of them, you would use the pink or the black salt. It would really, people would go really nuts with it. The black salt is delicious, I promise you. Okay, cover this up. It's hot. Okay, so why don't we use a rag over the top so I don't burn myself. And be careful with the noise. Ready? I said ready. What happened? Okay, how about now? I just like playing with the pulse button, guys. It really didn't need to go that long. All right, so we have this. Let me get rid of this, the base of my food processor. Now let's get our green beans and let's drain them so that we can do some work with them. All right, so basically, oh, I don't want that there. Basically, what we've already done, we have our eggplant in the oven. We have our mashed cauliflower basically ready to go. And now we're going to work on, and I'm moving the camera again, I'm warning you now. Now we're going to work on sweetening our green beans. All right, now we're going to work on sweetening the green bean. What do I need? Well, I need a skillet, which I left over here because my other skillet, the other skillet I was using, I'm yelling from the other side of the room, the other skillet I was using started burning, so I need a new skillet. I have a skillet. All right, what does the skillet need? The skillet needs a little bit of oil. Olive oil is fine for this. I'm putting cooking oil, okay, not too much, but olive oil would be just fine. Okay, I'm just coating the bottom of my skillet, and I'm also going to use some of my Smart Balance spread. All right, now I'm trying not to hang up on my producers here, but my earpiece came out of my ear. So now I'm going to throw some Smart Balance spread in here. So now I have oil and butter in here. Why do I have oil and butter? Well, if I only use butter, the butter would burn right away. But if I add butter to oil, it extends the smoking point of the butter. The oil already has, especially canola oil, has a fairly good smoking point. It's going to take a while to smoke. This allows me to melt butter and coat my green beans. Of course, it helps if you actually turn this on again, Rick. And then coat them with butter without the worry of burning or browning my butter. All right, so while I'm letting that go, I'm going to go ahead and work on my plating here. Which one am I? Okay, I'll use this one. All right, so we're letting that melt a little bit so I can get my green beans in it. I'm moving the camera backwards. Let's put a little bit, let's put some, our beautiful mashed cauliflower ready to go. We have it right here plated or ready to go, not a problem. Remember, Right here, you can do whatever. If you wanted something, I tend to use one small ingredient, one small spice through everything, and through my meals. That's how I like to make everything come together. So here's a couple of red pepper flakes on top of it, just like that. I'm going to also use red pepper flakes in my green beans, and we already know it's in my eggplant. So, but that's just the type of chef I am. I like to use one ingredient, it's usually a very small spice, and weave it through everything I'm cooking that day. And if you don't think I'll throw red pepper on a bowl of ice cream, you're wrong, because I will. So, don't challenge that. So if I'm making a dessert and I use ice cream, there's nothing wrong with vanilla bean and red pepper flake ice cream. And that would go great as a dessert, and it would still let it go through all of my through all of the different dishes I'm making for that one meal. So all we're doing is coating the green beans. They've already been blanched and basically cooked through. So we're coating them, and then we're going to add sugar. Now, it's up to you on how much sugar to add. I happen to like my green beans very sweet, but I'm also going to throw red pepper flakes on them. So it's not just going to be sweet green beans, it's going to be sweet and spicy. And that's what I happen to like. So I'm not afraid to throw a good amount of sugar. The sugar is going to get into the oil and the butter along the bottom of the pan, so you need to be careful not to let it burn. But as soon as all your green beans are, here goes my flying thing again. As soon as they're coated, and you can see it, maybe you can even hear it. As soon as they're coated, don't be afraid to top it with sugar. Okay. And then turn them a little bit. They're getting nice and hot. Turn them a little bit. There you go. Now, I could add more sugar, but this is a little bit, it's not a lot of green beans, so I'll leave it at that. Now, let's hope that this comes out. If you can, there is a lot of sugar on those green beans. You can see the sugar on it. It's sticking, and you can see it because of the butter that we added. It would stick with the oil, but the butter really grabs it. It really does. So, now we've got sweetened green beans. Let's toss a little bit of red pepper flakes on it. Sweet green beans, red pepper flakes. It's a sweet and spicy green bean, it really is. Very nice. And more importantly, when we blanched it, we kept them nice and green. They didn't go dull on us. They stayed nice and green and beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to plate some of those. There you go. Now, all right, so that's done. That's done. And of course, we have something in the oven. This is how quick this meal happens to be today. Look at that plate. Okay? We have our cauliflower. We have our green beans. And of course, I've already turned this off. It's just cooking a little bit. Don't worry about it. And of course, in the oven, let me find a hot pad here. In the oven, ready to go and beautiful to see. Where's the other hot pad? I have no idea what I've done. Oh, here it is. I keep hiding things from myself in my own kitchen. Wow. This is what it looks like coming out of the oven. See that? Isn't that great? Now we're going to plate one of those. So stand by, look at my plate. Let's plate this one right here. Now be careful when you're plating it, because now that it's cooked through, it's a little bit easier to fall apart on you. That, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that is a beautiful vegetarian dish right there. All right. That's how simple it was. We breaded and browned our eggplant. Then we covered it with tomatoes and red pepper flakes and Parmesan and threw it in the oven. We had our cauliflower sitting over here getting nice and soft. And then all we did, well, was mash it. We threw our salt, our pepper in it, whatever kind of spice you want to throw in it. We topped it. Then we sweetened and used the red pepper flakes on our green beans. That is how easy that was. All right, we're going to move it one more time. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I know I did, and I know I'm going to. Now, the important thing to know is next week, guys, next week we're doing Thanksgiving. You see what we just did here from start to finish, this meal? We're going to do it again for Thanksgiving, start to finish. Yes, I may cheat a little bit in that I'm going to have to put the turkey in before we get started, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to show you how to prepare the turkey. Other than that, we're going to do potatoes, we're going to do cranberries, we're going to do, excuse me, I need to drink water. In fact, I have the menu already listed. I don't remember what it all is. But everything else we're going to do right here in front of you, start to finish. You're going to have a whole Thanksgiving dinner done live on the internet next week, next Wednesday the 16th. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. I'm Chef Mick. This is Cooking for the Boys. Remember, if you know how to cook, you can marry for looks. I look forward to seeing every one of you next week. And tell your friends, guys, honestly, Thanksgiving is a very stressful time. I'm going to show you how easy it is to do to get rid of all that stress. If you know how to cook, you can marry for looks. Cooking for the Boys. We'll see y'all next week, guys.